Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Weekly Options. What we're going to do on this channel is look at trades going into the start of each week, and I'll share with you all my trade ideas for the week, what positions I'm currently in, and overall what I'm looking at within the market as we start each week. This is a new channel, and I'll be honest about my reasons for creating the channel. It is quite simply to chronicle my own trading journey and to hold myself even further accountable to the trades that I do make. And hopefully, this can be motivation for me to continue on in trading. Hopefully, you'll find it motivation for you wherever you are in your trading journey to perhaps persist through a downturn or look at a new way of doing something. It's my hope that this not only keeps me motivated, but motivates each of you along the journey. Now, I am not a financial advisor. I do not claim to be. Anything that you see here is just simply for entertainment purposes only. You can laugh at me or you can laugh with me as we learn together. And I encourage you all, before you dedicate any of your own hard-earned money to do any sort of trading, to seek the proper financial advice from people who are licensed professionals if you don't feel like you can do it yourself. I'm certainly not that guy. I'm not giving you any sort of financial advice. That being said, I am on Kinfo as far as documented and verified trades go. And over the last 3 months, I've been very fortunate to turn over about $324,000 in profit with a win rate of 52.6%. And you can go on kinfo.com and look at my trades and trades of everyone else. But not to belabor that point, I just want to let you know that I am a verified trader. So we can look here initially at E-mini futures. And what you can see here, this line here is 2025. The start of market open in 2025, and we've had some ups and downs. But as we go into the month of August, we are certainly making some progress. And as we just zoom in a little bit more here, we can see that the market had a really nice bounce up on Friday as a result of Chairman Powell and the confidence that he put into the market that he would then lower interest rates. This next chart here is just a simple look at SPX, and I trade SPX every now and again. We had a nice good bounce here off of this 21-day moving average. And, I certainly think that the floor is set underneath SPX right now to potentially move higher going into the end of the year. This channel here is a linear regression channel. The green line here represents a 1.5 standard deviation move, and then the blue line is a 2 standard deviation move. And this is, I believe, a 100-period look back. And so this tells us kind of where we are in terms to the recent historical price data. And it looks like with this strong move here on good volume that we're uh, possibly going to move further north throughout the remaining year and certainly over the next few months. Now, I don't think this is going to be a dramatic move upward. I just think we'll just kind of drift upward. We may have some drawdowns, but I do think that we're set to maybe get closer up to the 6,600 level. And so that's what I would look at for SPX moving forward. Bitcoin, this is just one that I kind of knew this drawdown was coming. We had this whole period here where we just couldn't get any higher, back through July. And then we had this little dip down that I drew this arrow at that time. I expected us to maybe continue down some more, but then we briefly came up here to around 24K, and now we're heading down again. Right now, I don't have a position in a Bitcoin proxy. If Bitcoin gets down here to around the 1008 level, I think that there's some support here looking back into this area where I can maybe start a position and look for a bounce. Or if Bitcoin goes higher into this 117, 118 range, with a nice good volume spike, kind of like what you see here, then I think this is strength, and then it's probably going to go up to like 125, 126. I just don't think there's going to be a very big increase in Bitcoin over the next several months. I think we can get comfortably into the 125 range, but I don't think we're going to be going to 160 or 180 by the end of the year. Quite frankly, I think it's going to be into next year before we see that kind of an increase in Bitcoin. You know, if you look at the historical price data, we'll go to the 2-day chart. This line that I have here goes all the way back. Let's go to the weekly, actually. So this line comes all the way back to 2021, where the price came and touched it here, here, and here. And then we went into the doldrums, and now we're touching it again right here. So I don't think we're just going to miraculously break that trend line and go all the way up to 200K right away. If we go back into, say, the daily chart and we look at this, you know, I certainly think that Bitcoin might come down a little bit, come up and nudge this a little bit, but I think it's going to be really into 2026 before we get way into this comfortably 2000, you know, 1,300 range. I'm sorry, the 130K range to 140K range. I just don't see that happening soon. Um, yeah, this here, let me just get rid of that. I was in IBIT for a while and I sold out. We never got to the 133K. Um, let's go look at the IBIT chart real quick. This is the IBIT chart right here. Um, we did have this strength yesterday, but like I said, I want to see something more from this before I move on. I don't like to stay in positions for a lot of months. And if I would have gotten in here back in July, I would have been sitting in here for over a month without really making any progress. So I really like to see a confirmed move to the upside and hopefully see that volume continues from there. Gold, I am in gold right now, and right now gold has been just trending sideways. We did have a nice spike yesterday. I am anticipating that price is going to move upward. I am in some long dated calls that if price gets above 319 by the time they expire, I should be well into profit. And I hope it can do that. I think it can. We've been consolidating in this sideways side range for a while. We have had some pretty good volume spikes, which I think is probably some accumulation going on. So hopefully this will just start to show some movement here in the next couple days to weeks. I think it will. And I am in that position. Silver is kind of the same thing, although I am less bullish on silver over the short term. I am long calls in silver. But again, this trend line here, we're kind of going up and hitting that. So I don't expect any big explosions up to $40. I think it's going to probably remain in this $38, $39 range, or we can roll back over. Um, you know, I just don't know what to really expect. I do think having some exposure to silver is important to me personally, so I am in the position. And if I think we get to around 39 a share on SLV, then I think that might be time to ring the cash register on this trade. But I am currently in this trade. And I do think silver has a little bit more room to run. However, I am going to keep a very cautious eye on it that it doesn't turn over and head south. App 11. This is a new position for me. I've been watching this position. I saw this nice volume spike down here back in the 7th of August, and then it bounced up a little bit and then really trended down on very little volume, and then had this little dip down here, and then it came back up, uh, which signaled to me that probably that's where the buyers were looking to defend, and it's coincidentally right along the same body of this big spike candle here. So I entered the position and I am long some calls that expire in December. And I expect to see some northern movement with App 11. I'll keep a close eye on this trade this week. The next position to bring up is Bull. This is Webull. And as you know, it's a trading platform that's becoming more and more popular. It kind of reminds me of Robinhood way back in the early days. And so I've been watching this one carefully. This is one where I kind of fumbled the ball. I got in way back here in July and I had calls and they went up a lot of value. I got greedy. I didn't sell. And then I lost all those gains, traded back at a loss for a while. And then finally, we did have a nice increase uh, in the share price. And I think this is going to go forward. This line here represents earnings, and earnings are going to be, I think, Thursday of this week. I intend on holding through earnings, and hopefully they'll report some nice earnings, and I'll get a nice pop here and be able to take some profits. So that's Webull, and I think it's a good vehicle for trading, in my opinion. This next one is Clarative, and this has been kind of a longer term hold for me. I've been in the name for a while, had a nice volume spike back here in May. I got in shortly after that, and it was trending up a little bit, came back down. They reported earnings and had a big spike, and it's been to the races since then. And this is the 4 hour chart, came down and just touched this moving average and is heading back north. I'm still in the name, long calls, and this is one that I like. Not sure when I'll get out of this, but it's been a nice play for me over the past couple months for sure. The next one we can talk about is Fun. This is the, I guess, parent company of Six Flags. And, I took my family to Six Flags the other day. I paid for the fast pass and I was at the top of a roller coaster looking down and I said, man, the parking lot is really half empty, which was surprising to me. And then I saw a Wall Street Journal article about how the rides were kind of broken and how the uh, attendance has fallen at Six Flags versus other theme parks. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to enter a short position. Here on earnings, there's a big volume spike down as they missed on earnings. People didn't like what they heard, and the market sold off. And so I entered some puts here. Since then, it's been trying to battle back a little bit. This little candle here will just kind of blow this up. Even on a day when the market was going up, it did go up a little bit and it came back down and just closed in the lower part of that candle. So I still think there's overall weakness here. I think this is going to go ahead and trend down. If you just look at, the historical data, you can see the moving average has been sloping down. Everything's in a down uh, uh, pathway. And so I'm still in this. Currently, I am red on the trade, but hopefully we can get down somewhere into this $22-20 range, and that will be a nice profit. And the idea for this trade, like I said, I went to Six Flags myself. There were quite a few times we were in line for the ride, and then the ride went down with a maintenance issue. And that was just my personal experience. So I said, you know what? Let me just try some puts here and see what I get out of it. Hopefully this will turn into a winner. Right now it's too soon to tell. The next one is LB. This is a new position here. I like the fact that we had this little move here with a nice, good infusion of volume. And I think that this is going to just curve around and come up a little bit. So I am long calls. And I do think that there's sometime in, I think maybe January or February, this is a new trade, and I'll keep a very close eye on this. The company's called Landbridge, and I'd like to see where this one goes. But I do think this is a company that can benefit from a falling rates environment. So we'll see what happens here. Moving on, uh, this is LRCX. This is also a new position. I think I might have entered this on Friday. I have a scanner that I run every now and again on TradingView, and it flagged this as a potential good entry. It has been just kind of staying in this little area here. I came in at the 101, almost the 102 level, buying calls. And while the stock traded briefly above that on Friday, it closed below it. But I'm hoping that this kind of trends up. The market will tell me whether I'm right on the trade. I will be a little bit patient with this, but I do think that the overall trend has been in a upward left to right position, and I'll hold on to this for a little bit and see where it goes this week. The next one is NVIDIA. I got in NVIDIA and went long with some calls. They report earnings coming up very soon. Looks like it's going to be on Wednesday of this week, and I expect some more great things from NVIDIA. I think that they're going to do well on earnings like they've done in the past, and I think there's upside to this position, so I am long NVIDIA calls. Next up is Palantir. I was in Palantir. I ended up selling somewhere right around in here, and then it came all the way back down. Um, when I saw it come down to this level, I bought back in, buying some February calls. It had a dip below, quickly recovered as buyers stepped in, and I think it's going to be heading north again from here. But I do like this volume on that recovery, and I'm long this position, and hopefully it'll continue to pay good money as it moves further north. And then finally, this is WLDN. This is a position that gapped up. I liked the gap, and I saw it just kind of consolidate back down a little bit, and it's heading back up. So I entered calls here, and we'll see if this continues to move north. This is one that I'll watch carefully, and if it turns against me, I'll try to cut this one pretty quick, but I think it's going to move further north during the week. So that's it. That's what I'm watching this week. Those are the positions I'm in. You can let me know down in the comments, what are you trading this week? What are you looking at in terms of positions, and what kind of style do you like to trade? Do you like to swing trade, or do you like to day trade? And what's your overall philosophy and strategy? This is Weekly Options. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if there's anything that happens during the week, I'll probably just put up a quick short. Otherwise, I'll try to leave another update next Sunday evening. Okay, you guys stay blessed and keep investing well. Happy trading.